Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to all of you. Today the topic in general pathology is ischemic heart disease. Today is 22nd Zilqat 1441 Hijri. Day is Monday 13 July 2020. My name is Dr. Nadeem Nusrat, Associate Professor in the Department of Pathology, Fizaya Rutford Medical College, Karachi, Pakistan. The learning objectives for today's lectures are definition of ischemic heart disease, also written as IHD in the short form, various presentations of ischemic heart disease, brief description of atheroma and atherosclerosis, brief pathogenesis and clinical presentation of ischemic heart disease, important points in the diagnosis of ischemic heart disease. Let us come to the main topic, ischemic heart disease. Ischemia means inadequate or decreased blood supply to a tissue or cells or a group of cells. Cells may survive mild to moderate ischemia but with decreased functions. If ischemia is severe or becomes severe enough, the cells being supplied may die unless the blood flow is restored. This type of cell death, which is due to severe ischemia, is called infarction, and the cells undergo coagulative necrosis. Decreased blood supply causes inadequacy of oxygen and nutrient relative to the demand of cardiac muscle and leads to ischemic heart disease, compromising the function of the heart, which is mainly the muscular pump. As heart is working continuously throughout life and many a times has to increase its rate and force of contraction to pump blood to all parts of the body, it needs an adequate supply of oxygen and nutrients to meet the body demands. And this supply comes from the blood. Any factor leading to decreased blood supply to heart may result in ischemic heart disease. This is a photomicrograph, a transparent one, in which you can see the heart in the center of the chest. This is a photomicrograph, a microscopic picture of the muscles of the heart. They are striated and they are very powerful. This is an overview of the blood supply of the heart. There are two main arteries arising both from the aorta, right coronary artery and the left coronary artery. The left coronary artery has a lot of branches and is very important in the presentation of ischemic heart disease. This is a cross section of an artery. In the center you will see a hollow, which is the lumen. Then you can see the inner layer or tunica intima, which is lined by endothelial cells. Outside is the muscular layer, which is tunica media. It is composed of smooth muscles, and the outermost is the tunica adventitia, which contains a lot of collagen fibers. Pathogenesis of ischemic heart disease. Patho means abnormality and genesis means development. So the development of abnormalities in ischemic heart disease. Heart is a powerful syncytial striated muscle and is a muscular pump. Coronary arteries supplies oxygen and nutrients to the cardiac muscles. Cardiac muscle needs ATP for their survival and function. ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate. Oxygen is used by mitochondria in the process of oxidative phosphorylation to produce adequate amount of ATP. Depending upon the severity of ischemia, production of ATP is decreased accordingly. If severe anemia, severe decrease in the production of ATP. The survival and function of cardiac muscles may be compromised due to a decrease in ATP. It may damage the cardiac muscles. So damage to the cardiac muscles due to decreased blood supply is called ischemic heart disease. Atheroma and atherosclerosis. Lipids, especially cholesterol, is present in normal quantities in blood of a normal person. If the cholesterol and lipid level become persistently high, then they predispose the individual to the process called atherosclerosis. What is atherosclerosis? It is the formation of atheroma in the inner layer of the arteries. What is atheroma? It is an abnormal accumulation of lipids in the inner layer of arteries, compromising blood supply. Cholesterol infiltrates the wall of the artery and causes inflammation, resulting in local recruitment of T cells and macrophages. T cells are a type of lymphocytes. Interaction of the endothelial cells and the white blood cells causes activation of these cells. The macrophages phagocytose the cholesterol and the cytoplasm becomes foamy, so they are called foam cells. Foamy cells leak fat into surrounding and cause more inflammation. Inflammation causes multiplication and accumulation of smooth muscle fibers and deposition of connective tissue matrix in the area. A bulge is formed with a fibrous cap which projects into the lumen of the artery and makes the lumen of the artery narrow. Core of the atheroma consists of lipids, cholesterol, calcified material, matrix and necrotic debris. You can see this is a photograph of a atheroma. You can see on the top this is a blood vessel, and in the blood vessel atheroma is projecting, so narrowing the lumen of the artery. This atheroma on top is covered by a fibrous cap, and inside the yellow material is all the cholesterol, lipids and macrophages and smooth muscle and all those things. This atheroma is very fragile. It may break if there is any stress or if there is any pressure. These are two photomicrographs. On the left one, you can see the cholesterol and other substances which have formed atheroma and which have narrowed the lumen of the coronary artery. On the right side, on the top, you can see a normal artery without any atheroma. Lower down, you can see atheroma bulging slightly into the lumen. The atheroma is enlarged, and in the lowest more slide, the atheroma is enlarged so much that now it is blocking the lumen of the artery, and it has also broken down. It has done one thing: when it breaks down, it exposes the internal surface, which is thrombogenic. So a lot of platelets come and produce a thrombus, which occludes the lumen of the artery. When atheroma formation is widespread, it is called atherosclerosis. When atheroma becomes large, then an acute event can occur. Atheroma are fragile and they bulge into the artery, narrowing the caliber of the artery. Acute event occurs when atheroma breaks or gets disrupted. Any mechanical factor like high blood pressure may break them. Breakage exposes thrombogenic surface of the broken atheroma. Platelets accumulate and cause a thrombus formation. Thrombus may occlude the arterial lumen or may dislodge to block the artery further down. This initiates an acute ischemic event. This is a photomicrograph. You can see the topmost artery without any atheroma. The atheroma is enlarging. In the third last, the atheroma has become too big, and in the last and the lower down, the atheroma has broken down. It has exposed a thrombogenic surface and a platelet thrombus has formed, completely occluding the lumen of the artery and so blocking the blood supply in the artery. The same thing you can see here. Extent of myocardial ischemia. It can be transmural. Whole thickness of the myocardium is involved and ischemic. Subendocardial or partial thickness of the myocardium has undergone ischemia. During ischemia, the function of the muscle cell is disturbed because less amount of ATP is being produced. Changes are seen in the myocardial electrical system also. The electrical system of the heart is seen by doing ECG or electrocardiogram. Changes are seen in Q waves, ST segment and T waves of the ECG. These changes may show whether the insult is subendocardial, that is partial, or full thickness, or transmural. So endocardial is partial thickness involvement and transmural is full thickness involvement of the myocardium. Here you can appreciate between transmural and subendocardial myocardial infarction or ischemia. These are the ECG changes. On the top you can see subendocardial ischemia and transmural ischemia. In the subendocardial ischemia you can see ST depression, which is downsloping, and the transmural you can see ST elevation. You can compare this with a normal ECG. You will also appreciate the T wave inversion. The T wave gets inverted. Normally it is upright. Causes of ischemic heart disease. Atherosclerotic vascular disease accounts for 90% of cases, causing decreased coronary blood flow. The remaining may be due to increased demand, which happens when the heart rate is increased, or in hypertension or high blood pressure, decreased blood flow, which may occur in hypotension or shock, diminished oxidation of the hemoglobin, which occurs in pneumonia or congestive cardiac failure, diminished oxygen carrying capacity, for example anemia or carbon monoxide poisoning. Clinical presentation of ischemic heart disease. The manifestation of ischemic heart disease are a direct consequence of insufficient blood supply to the heart. The clinical presentation include one or more of the following. Number 1, angina pectoris. Number 2, acute myocardial infarction. Number 3, chronic ischemic disease with chronic heart failure. Let us briefly discuss these presentations. Angina pectoris means pain in the chest. Intermittent chest pain caused by transient reversible myocardial ischemia. Due to ischemia, cells release certain chemicals like adenosine, bradykinins, and other molecules. These stimulate the autonomic afferents, which is felt as chest pain. Ischemia induces pain but is insufficient to cause death of the myocyte. Pain episodes last only few minutes and the myocytes survive. Angina can be of three types. Stable angina, occurring at certain level of exertion, and you can predict that at what level of exertion the patient may feel pain. Unstable angina, occurring with less exertion or even at rest. Prinzmetal angina can be caused by spasm of the blood vessels. This lady, while doing some exercise or walk, now is having chest pain which look like angina pectoris. The chest pain is typical of angina, but the pain can also occur in the left arm also, in the neck also, and in the lower part of the jaw also. Sometimes the pain is in the epigastrium also. The same picture, patient having central chest pain. You can appreciate the difference between a normal heart and the artery with atheroma. Plaque is an atheroma. Let us discuss each of these anginas. We'll discuss stable or typical angina, then Prinzmetal or anginal variant, and then unstable or crescendo angina. For the stable angina, pain is substernal, that is in the center of the chest. The nature is crushing or a pressure like, and the pain may go to the left arm, neck or lower jaw. Pain is usually relieved by rest, that is when the demand is decreased, or taking nitroglycerin, a vasodilator that increases coronary perfusion or blood flow. Prinzmetal occurs at rest and is due to spasm of coronary artery with or without atherosclerosis. It responds typically to vasodilators or calcium channel blockers. Unstable or crescendo. Crescendo means increasing, characterized by increasing frequency of the pain, which is precipitated by progressively less exertion or even occurring at rest. It is not a good sign. It is due to severe coronary artery stenosis with atheroma disruption and superimposed thrombosis, embolization of thrombus and or spasm of the vessel. It is often a harbinger of myocardial infarction caused by complete vascular occlusion. It is a serious condition. Here again you can see the same thing. On the left you will see a normal ECG. Then you can see ECG of the subendocardial ischemia, that is ST depression, transmural ischemia, ST elevation. These are for the ischemias. We will also show you for the myocardial infarctions. Myocardial infarction. Infarction is a cell death due to complete loss of blood supply. Infarction causes necrosis resulting in premature death of the cell, in this case a muscular fiber of the myocardium. An atheromatous plaque is suddenly disrupted, that it is broken. It exposes endothelial collagen and the necrotic plaque contents to the blood. Platelets adhere, aggregate and become activated, releasing certain chemicals like thromboxane A2, ADP and serotonin. This causes further platelet activation and spasm of the coronary blood vessel. Activation of coagulation by exposure of tissue factor and other mechanisms adds to the growing thrombus. Within minutes, the thrombus can enlarge to completely block the coronary artery lumen. Loss of myocardial blood supply leads to profound functional, biochemical, and morphological consequences. As far as first year MBBS is concerned, we will discuss only functional and biochemical consequences. The morphological one we will discuss when we will study special pathology, biochemical and functional. Within seconds, aerobic glycolysis ceases, leading to a drop in ATP and accumulation of potential noxious or toxic metabolites, for example, lactic acid in the cardiac myocyte. Functional, rapid loss of force of contraction within a minute or so after the ischemia or complete block of the blood supply. Myofibril relaxation, glycogen depletion, cell and mitochondrial swelling. These changes are reversible within 20 to 40 minutes before becoming irreversible. After 40 minutes, there is death of the myocyte leading to coagulative necrosis. So if myocardial blood flow is restored within time, the cell viability or life may be preserved. Disturbance of electrical system can cause electrical instability resulting in fatal arrhythmias. Types of myocardial infarcts, again, subendocardial infarctions, transmural infarctions, and small microscopic infarcts. Subendocardial, inner third of the endocardial wall is involved. This region is most vulnerable to hypoperfusion and hypoxia. In presence of atherosclerosis, there can be ischemic changes, for example, during pneumonia, hypoxia, hypotension, and or anemia, etc. And it is seen as ECG changes. Transmural infarctions involve full thickness of the endocardium as evidenced by specific changes in the ECG. Epicardial vascular occlusion due to combination of atherosclerosis and thrombosis. Microscopic infarcts occurring in setting of small vessel occlusion and may not show diagnostic ECG findings. The causes may be vasculitis, that is inflammation of the blood vessel, embolization of valve vegetations, mural thrombi, vascular spasm due to elevated catecholamines. The catecholamines, they can be endogenous or exogenous. Endogenous, a tumor called pheochromocytoma. It can produce a lot of catecholamines, or stress can produce a lot of catecholamines. The exogenous, in people who are taking cocaine. Again the same photograph. Appreciate the difference between transmural and subendocardial lesions. The same thing. Clinical features of myocardial infarctions. Severe crushing, substernal chest pain or pressure. Pain can go to neck, jaw, epigastrium or left arm. In contrast to angina, which lasts only for few minutes, myocardial infarction pain lasts for several minutes to hours. It is not relieved by rest or nitroglycerin. In some people, they don't feel any pain during myocardial infarction. It is said that they are having silent infarcts, especially in patients with diabetes mellitus who have abnormality of the nerves, that is neuropathy. Cardiac enzymes are raised when MI occurs. ECG shows specific changes in Q waves, ST segment and in T wave. Arrhythmias or disturbed rhythm of the heartbeat can occur, and it can be very serious issue also. This patient is having an MI or myocardial infarction. MI is also called heart attack. This patient may be having a heart attack, but now instead of the chest, having pain in the lower jaw. This patient is having pain in the left arm. This is a typical electrical activity of the heart. On the left, you will see P wave resting on a isoelectric line, that is a horizontal line. A downgoing Q wave, upgoing R wave, downgoing S wave, then on the right T wave. In between the S wave and T wave you can see ST segment, which sometimes is elevated and sometimes is depressed in cardiac diseases. This is a time course for the biomarkers of myocardial infarction. There are many types. Number one is troponin I, CKMB, myoglobin, total CK, AST and LDH. You can just see from this photograph when they are detected, after how many hours, when their value will peak, and for how many days they will stay. This is a graphic form of the cardiac enzymes or cardiac biomarkers. Consequences and complications of myocardial infarction. There are many. The force of contraction may be affected, that is contractile dysfunction. Papillary muscle dysfunction. Papillary muscles are very important in the closure and opening of the heart valves. And if these muscles are affected, then the closure and opening of the heart valves may be affected. Right ventricular infarction, myocardial rupture, especially in transmural myocardial infarctions. Arrhythmias, disturbance in the rhythm of the heart. Pericarditis, inflammation of a covering around the heart. Chamber dilatation. Mural thrombus. If the heart is failing due to MI, the blood will stay longer in the cavity of the heart and it can clot there, forming a thrombus in the cavity of the heart. Ventricular aneurysm. The wall of the ventricle may weaken and it may balloon out due to the weakness of that part of the wall. Progressive heart failure. Let us discuss reperfusion injury. The therapeutic goal for myocardial infarction is to timely remove the vascular block by thrombolysis or dissolution of thrombus by plasminogen activator. Some people go for angioplasty and a few people go for coronary arterial bypass graft. The main aim is to restore the blood supply to the damaged tissue. Sometimes this removal of blockade may incite a greater local damage instead of giving benefit. This is called reperfusion injury, which occurs on restoration of the blood supply. What happens? Mitochondrial dysfunction due to altered membrane permeability, myocyte hypercontracture during ischemia due to increased calcium, production of free radicals like hydrogen peroxide, hypochlorite acid, etc. Leukocyte aggregation, blocking the blood vessels and releasing elastases and proteases from the cytoplasm. Platelet and complement activation occurs, causing more thrombosis and damage to the cardiac muscle. Chronic heart disease, we will discuss it briefly. This is also called ischemic cardiomyopathy. There is progressive heart failure secondary to ischemic myocardial damage. Most cases has a history of previous myocardial infarctions. Failure of the compensatory mechanism like hypertrophy of the viable myocardium. In few cases, severe obstructive coronary artery disease can cause myocardial dysfunction without frank infarction. This is the end of the lecture. Thank you very much. Queries are welcome.